Hi, welcome. Today we will seek for the initiative. This is a very important subject, and most of the players have difficulties to trying to seek for the initiative and maintain it sometimes. So, before we start, of course, I need to talk about that. Did you know that almost 87% of the viewers isn't subscribed? This is very important for the channel and for me because this is the sign that you are enjoying to see this content. So help me help you. Let's be friends. Let's walk together in this chess road. And if you have some critics and some ideas to talk here on this channel, tell me, put on the commentaries below, and I will be grateful. So subscribe now, push the like button, and put some comment below, and I will be very grateful. So let's continue. So about this theory, what is the initiative? Well, the initiative is the ability to make threats. So this will force our opponents to react rather than making proactive decisions. So we want to create problems to our opponents. So we will start with our first position, and the first position is from a game that has been played by Paul Morphy and a player unidentified, so we don't know the name of him. And we to find the initiative, we will have different approaches according to the phase of the game. So we have the opening, the middle game, and the end game. So the first three examples are related to opening moves. So here, Paul Morphy is playing with white, and his opponent, of course, is playing with black. And after he plays the King's Indian, his opponent will accept it. So here, knight f3, g5 is the theoretical move. And after bishop c4, here we have g4. So this is a very complicated line because white will give up his knight. So it's very important to maintain the initiative, or else Paul Morphy will lose the game. Why? Simple, because he's losing by material by 3 points. So it's very important to maintain the initiative. And how will he do that? Simple. He wants to control the center. He will develop, in this case, no, but normally knights before bishops. He will guarantee that his king is secure, and he will want to have activity with his pieces. So in the opening, we want that. So we want to control the center, we want to develop our pieces, we want to have our king secure. So in this moment, if you see this position, okay, black is winning by 3 points. This is the king's gambit accepted, but okay, I have the queen, the bishop, and 2 pawns outside, and this pawn will fall. So I don't need to be worried about. So here, the black player, of course, haven't played the best move. And after that, Paul Morphy will play just g3. And the problem is that, well, black doesn't want to take, or else queen takes f7. It's kind of bad because, well, the bishop will fall and this will finish in checkmate. So this is very bad. So here, when white plays g3, is maintaining the initiative, and now black needs to answer by some way. And here, the black player has failed because he has lost a tempo. And well, if you lose a tempo, now it's important for white to seek for the initiative and create problems. Because If we create problems, the black will be on the defense and he won't be able to project and create his own plans. So here, knight c, normal, a developing move with ideas of attacking the queen, for example. And after bishop h6, not a good move, terrible move, lateralizing the bishop. He isn't controlling the center. Everything is wrong for black. Here, of course, Morphy attacks the queen. So he is constantly creating problems for his opponent. So this continued with queen d6, and after pawn advances, another attacking move. Here, the black player will continue with queen to c6. Now, Morphy, of course, he was a tactical genius. And probably you're thinking about one thing I told before. What is initiative? Is inserted on tactical thinking or strategic thinking? It's both. It's a mix of both. So here, white is completely won. And we have several good moves, but one is the best because it's a tactical move. So bishop b5, it's very beautiful because if queen takes, knight will take on c7, giving a double check. So check on the king and we will win the queen. So here, of course, black has taken the pawn on c2, and after that, this game it's very complicated for black because here white will continue with the initiative. How will Morphy do that? Simple. We need to protect our king, so we will castle kingside. And after pawn advances, it's a passive move. It isn't creating any problems. Here we can just put the bishop on d3. Of course, probably some of you are thinking about this move, c6. Yeah, we don't have any problem with that. White is completely won because we have always this move. And even we can take with the bishop, and if bishop takes, queen takes, and we can seek for the square on f7. So here, he played that, bishop attacks queen, and after queen to c6, of course, let's continue creating problems to our opponent because we don't want him to project and plan in this game. So bishop e4, attacking the queen on the center. So normally we want to occupy the center or attack the center and use the center as a starting point to create problems to our opponent. So here, of course, it doesn't matter the move. The game is completely won for Morphy. Bishop takes f4, and after queen check, he just plays king h1, and okay. Here, black doesn't have nothing. So he continued with bishop takes, queen takes. Here, Morphy is threatening to take on f7. And after knight h6, it's just, well, it's terrible. Here we can do everything we want. We can take on c7. We can put the rook on d1 too. Here, Morphy has continued with queen to h4. Beautiful tactical move because, of course, it's possible to defend taking the knight, but of course here black has castled kingside, and after knight check, king to g7, this is a checkmate. So beautiful stuff by Paul Morphy. So he was indeed a great player. So, okay. This was very interesting. So we have seen that the black player has failed a lot on this game. Yeah, very important. If you want to have the initiative, normally, okay, it's simpler for the white player to have the initiative because you play first, of course. And if you have the initiative with black, well, you have the gambit, but they are suspect because most of times you're doing the gambits, but if the white player plays well, you will be worst. So we need to assume that a black player, a player playing with black, to have the initiative, it's necessary for the white player to do some mistake. So it's important to follow the principles of the development. So let's see the next game. Another legend, Mikhail Tal, playing with Stalnikov. So this game was made a few years ago, and well, e4, and we have a French. So this continued with d4, and after the advance, this is the Tarrasch. This game will continue with knight c6, knight f3, and after pawn takes, we have f6. This, for now, this is everything is normal. So here, of course, Mikhail Tal has made a dubious move, but his goal is to seek for the initiative. And the thing is, if you put on the black side, on the side of Stalnikov, you are playing against Mikhail Tal, and Mikhail Tal has played knight g5 against you. What would you think? Oh my god, I have already made a mistake. I would think that, and then you're a genius. Because, okay, everyone will take the knight, and this is the best move, of course. But the thing is that the game will be extremely complicated for black. Extremely. Because right now, okay, Mikhail Tal continues with queen check. And we think, oh, that's the idea. Okay, g6, okay. Stalnikov has played correctly. And, of course, Mikhail Tal is losing by 3 points. It's imperative to continue creating pressure and to maintain the initiative. He needs to create problems, or else he will lose the game. So here, he continued with bishop takes on g6. Of course, if pawn takes, the queen will take the rook, and this is a nightmare for black. So here, he has taken. The truth is that this is the best move. It's incredible because, okay, black is winning by 5 points, and if Mikhail Tal takes the rook, okay, probably black is better because, okay, he can take on d4, create problems on c2, so looks good. But the thing is that Mikhail Tal doesn't want the rook. He takes on g6. Why? Because he gives a check, and if he gives a check, his opponent will need to answer and defend. So he continued with king e7. And of course, Mikhail Tal continued with, oh my god, sorry. He continued with the next move. Knight to c4. Incredible. Was he drunk? I don't know. Pawn can take. What happens if pawn takes? Simple. Bishop takes. Goodbye. Goodbye, queen. Because after knight f6, of course, bishop takes. And after king, okay, this game is better for white. So why don't play, for example, a knight f3? Because if he plays knight f3, okay, here exists this kind of stuff. And black is better. So he made this move, and after this terrible mistake, bishop h6, now Mikhail Tal is completely won. How can you win this position? It's quite simple. Bishop takes on g5. Bishop takes again, and now it's unstoppable. It's checkmate. Check and checkmate. So when we see Mikhail Tal, everything is easy. And of course, we've already analyzed, we are seeing always the initiative in the opening. And we've already analyzed the polymorphy. We've seen right now Mikhail Tal. And okay, think about the greatest attacking players ever. And I'm sure you're going to know who will we see next. Of course, the next game has been played by Robert James Fischer against Bent Larsen. This game has finished 2 on the opening, and Fischer was a beast. So e4, and we are seeing an Alekhine played by Black. So this continued with this position, takes, and Fischer will make a brilliant move. Nowadays is a more modern variation. This is completely playable, and it's incredible stuff. So Fischer has seen this idea. Knight takes on f7. My God. What is the idea? Simple. Okay. He's attacking the queen and the rook, but king can take. But okay. Now that the king has moved, the security isn't the best. And this king cannot castle, so he is exposed, and his pieces aren't well placed. So here he continued with queen h5, attacking the knight and attacking the king. Incredible stuff. So here he continued with king e6. We are on the 7th move, and Black is already suffering. So he has made another check, and of course here, serious, I don't know, but probably Fischer will accept the draw, I think, because this position is equal. But the thing is that Bent Larsen has played king d6. He assumed that it was possible to win this game playing with Black, with the king on d6. Everyone are crazy on chess, so I don't know. So here, Bobby Fischer needs to maintain the initiative. So with c4, he continues the attack, creates pressure on the knights, and after knight to f6, here, of course, Larsen is trying to create pressure too, trying to seek for the initiative. But Bobby Fischer, of course, plays queen g3, giving check. This continued with king e6, and this game is already finishing because pawn takes, queen takes, and after knight c3, very, very, very good move. Here, he needs to take on d4. The problem is that while Fischer is giving up one pawn, a piece, is opening the center, is exposing the king, is developing quicker than his opponent. That is opponent. So this is already one for Fischer. It's genius, this guy. So this continued with queen b4, and Bobby Fischer isn't worried with this move. If you want to take the pawn, take the pawn. I'm not worried about. So he played a3 just to provoke. And after queen takes b2, he plays just simple bishop c4 check. Let's attack this guy. So after king to d7, rook check, king again, knight to b5, and it's over. The game is completely lost because, okay, the pawn is protected, and how will you defend this pawn? You can't. The thing is that you can't. So a very strong game by Bobby Fischer. We've already seen 3 of the biggest genius of the attacking chess: Morphy, Fischer, Mikhail Tal. But we need to see very well the concepts. So we've already seen that the initiative is the ability to create threats. And when we create threats, our opponents cannot plan, cannot take proactive decisions. And in the opening, the main objectives are control the center with pawns, develop knights before bishops, guarantee that our king is protected, and important, We want to have a strong pawn structure. So now let's go to the middle game. So, of course, to see the middle game, it's important to learn from the best. And Kasparov was one of the best. So in this game, Kasparov has played with Ralph Ackerson. And of course, because of our time, we won't see the entire game because we have several positions to see. And here, Ackerson has played Queen to A7. And the thing is that here, this position is completely equal. But we want to seek for the initiative. We want to create problems. We don't want our opponents to create plans. And the best idea is just to advance the pawn to f5. After that, okay, let's see. If he accepted this pawn, of course, this would be playable, but the file is open and he can create pressure because he already has the pair of bishops. But here, of course, it was playable. But here, black has played Queen A8. And after that, Kasparov will continue to create pressure and complicate the position for black. And this advance, it's interesting because if pawn takes, we just play knight g4. And if knight takes, queen takes, the pressure is enormous because we are threatening to give checkmate. And even on this position, probably this is the only move. So this happened on the game. So it's complicated because right now, black is on a passive position, is just defending, and about the space, we have more space because this pawn is more advanced than any of the pawns of our opponents. This one is good, but, well, isn't nothing. But, okay, here Kasparov has seen a brilliant move. If you want, you can put on pause and think a little bit. We have two more positions to see the middle game. We will see three from each part of the game. And, okay, here Kasparov has made a sacrifice. Bishop takes on f6. It's a great way to maintain the initiative because we are threatening to give checkmate. But of course, this is a tactical move. And a mix with positional thinking, strategical thinking. Because now, of course, pawn cannot take. So he needs to take with the rook. And then let's go. Let's advance our pawns. And now the thing is that, okay, this position, if you analyze with an engine, it's equal, but it's complicated for black because rook, pawn advances, another threat of checkmate. And after rook to c7, here, pawn advances. Let's go. The sky is the limit. And here, queen, let's go. Pawn advance. So brilliant stuff by Garry Kasparov. He was too strong on those days. Of course, this finished like that. And the thing is that right now, when we look at this position, this is already completely won for white. So very beautiful concept and important. When he has played this move, the game wasn't won. This is just a plan, but it's a plan that complicates the strategy of our opponents. So very, very important. So the next game, it's from another world champion. Today we will see just world champions, lots of them. And I'm talking about Boris Spassky. And Spassky has won Jan Tiemann. Tiemann was a strong player too. And here, black has played this move. And again, we have an aggressive position. We are creating some problems to our opponents. And how can we continue creating difficulties for Jan Tiemann? Well, again, if you analyze this with an engine, this position is completely equal. Small advantage for white because of the file, but nothing great. So here, Spassky has made that queen to g4. So the idea is to create pressure on the h file. And after rook to give some hair for the king, here Spassky has made a beautiful, a brilliant move. And this is the kind of moves that, in my opinion, only strong grandmasters do. So he has made this move. Bishop takes on e6. And the thing is that, okay, after pawn takes, queen takes, this king is completely exposed. So it's one of the rules. And right now, okay, if you analyze with an engine, it will say that the position is completely equal. But the thing is that you need to see the only move. Here, black has failed and has made this move, bishop c4. And the only defense, if you think about this move, tell me on the comments. The only defense, it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. Knight e7. It's the only defense, because after queen takes, of course, queen takes, knight takes, and okay, the material, it's equal, and without queens, black, it's the black king is more safe, is safer. So okay, he has played bishop c4, and right now Spassky is completely won. So this continued with queen. After knight, we are creating pressure on the bishop, always creating problems, always creating pressure on the vulnerable points. So rook to g8, and after rook h3, because I can, why not? Here, rook to try to protect the unprotected, unprotectable, I think this exists. Here, knight takes. Of course, this isn't possible. And it isn't good, because after rook check, king to e8, for example, would lose something, because takes, and okay, bishop and the rook will fall. So this isn't possible. So he continued with this move, and after rook check, king, bishop check, knight b4, and okay, this is over. He will sacrifice the queen, but of course, after pawn takes, it doesn't exist nothing, because here the only possible move is the queen, because after this move, this is terrible, and even queen d6, of course, I just take, and I'm winning, but by a lot of points, 4 points. So it's very, very strong. So brilliant stuff too by Spassky. The third and last position for the middle game has been played by another legend, and this guy, we need to talk about him, Tigran Petrosian. And Tigran Petrosian has won in this game another legend, Polugaevsky. And of course, Petrosian was playing with black. Probably the best defensive world champion ever. And here, very important, the black player has made this move, and after bishop to e3, I want you to think a little bit about this position. Okay, you can put on pause, and I'm going to explain because of the time. And the thing is that this is completely equal. But here Petrosian wants to seek for the initiative. How can we seek for the initiative? In a brilliant way. The idea is just to give the quality. Rook takes bishop, and after pawn takes, now the thing is that the white game has one big problem. two, but one is worse. The pawn structure. And we will explore that with knight to c5 to block, for example, this pawn. And after queen, rook, let's explore the second debility. And after rook to f3, ugly move, he plays bishop h6. So he is losing by 2 points, but he has the initiative. He is creating pressure and problems to his opponent. So here, his opponent continued with this move, and this is evaluating equal, still equal. But the thing is that queen e7, and the pressure is enormous because the knight is protecting the black structure. It's a good one because the worst pawn, it's protected, it's walled. So here the problem is that the Polugaevsky has made a terrible mistake because he has played rook to b6. Instead of this move, probably rook b1 and the game would continue equal, or even king to h1. Probably it would be equal too. So the thing is that after this move, yeah, simple stuff. It's simple to play like Petrosian because he was a beast. He was very strong. So, okay, we've seen another part of the game. So we've already saw the opening and the middle game. About the middle game, we need to see a very important concept. On the middle game, we try to give checkmate and we try to create problems to our opponents. So it's very important to mix the tactical play and positional play. We've seen that on these three examples. And when we create always problems, probably our opponent will fail in one of the moves and we will win the game. So how will we do that? We want to improve always our position, okay? So very, very important. Now we will see the last part. So the third part is related to endgame. So on the endgames, we need to calculate, we need to understand a lot of structures, pawn structures, about the king safety. And normally, when we play the end games, we want to use some techniques to create passed pawns, explore the weaknesses on the pawns, improve the position of the king, simplifying the position through pawn exchanges. So we will see this all on this channel. Not today because the video would be 10 hours. But well, the next position has been played by Janowski and Alapin. So it's interesting. And now these are three positions on the endgame. So, okay, let's go. So Janowski is playing with white, and his last move is has been interesting. So let's see. Here we have a good setup. Of course, white is already better because we have connected pawn. And here he will advance the pawn. And after bishop to d7, I want you to think, what is the best move? We want to maintain the initiative. We are always seeking for the initiative. We want to continue having it. So how would you continue? Very simple. f6. f6 explores one of the problems. We will open the opponent's king with queens on the board. So here black has advanced, and after queen to g3, of course, this is a tactical threat to give checkmate here. Black has played this move, and after h4, h5, we are always creating pressure and problems, and the black player is defending. And Alapon was a good player. So rook and rook. And the thing is that he is always creating pressure on the weak points. In this case, on the pawn. So he continued this position with this kind of ideas. And right now, g4 is too strong. So here, this is already over. And the idea, it's very beautiful because here Janowski is thinking about a one endgame. So rook takes, king takes, queen to g5, and after queen, check. Of course, this pawn cannot take because of the presence of the bishop. And after king, right now, bishop takes, queen, queen, bishop, and pawn advances, winning the game. So, brilliant stuff. A mix of tactical playing and strategic thinking. So, very, very beautiful. The next position has been played again by Petrosian. Petrosian was a monster. And Petrosian is playing with black, and his last move was this one. He has taken the bishop. And after rook to d4, he continued with pawn advance, creating pressure on the rook. So after rook, again, f5. f5 is incredible because, well, the thing is that if pawn takes, here he has queen f6, and he will he will take the pawn again. It isn't possible to protect. So here he has taken the central pawn, and after pawn advances, he is preparing a kingside attack. So, of course, his opponent wasn't a weak player. We are talking about Boris Spassky. He was world champion. So this continued with queen, and after knight attacking the queen, we are maintaining the initiative. Here, check, king goes to b8, and after pawn advances, let's attack again the queen. We don't want Spassky to create plans. So pawn advances, and h3. We already have a connected passed pawn. So bishop and of course rook. We don't need to do nothing because if we advance, we won't be able to create any problem to this king. So king, pawn, bishop, and this position is completely won for Petrosian. Here he sacks the knight because the king is completely exposed. This game is over. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. The last position on the endgame techniques, of course, we need to talk about this guy too, is José Raúl Capablanca. And here he has won Juan Corso on the match. And this position is completely brilliant because the last move from Corso has been king to g8. And the thing, you need to put this on pause if you don't know this position. Think a little bit. Think a little bit. How would you win this game? And Capablanca was a genius playing endgames. Of course, he wasn't Carlsen, but he lived on another era. So here, he will seek for the initiative, activating his king. So he will put his first is controlling the squares from the knights, and now he will push the king to the other side. Why is that? Simple, because he has an exterior advanced pawn. So here he will take the pawns, he will break the pawn structure right now, and now this is completely won. Because of course, if knight takes bishop, pawn advances, and it's done. So, okay, this video is already quite long, but I think if you want to improve this area, if you want to play with initiative, it's important to see all these games and analyze these positions. So just to finish, and I won't give you the answers because I want you to solve these three last exercises. So to finish this video, and let's see who is understanding the concepts here on this channel. Don't forget, if you want to be a strong player, if you want to be a master, you need to be proactive. You want to think. You want to push by your own brains. Because if everyone solves the problems for you, how will you improve? So I have three problems for you. So the first one has been played by Alexander Alekhine. And, this is the position. If you want, you can do a print screen or you can put on pause. And I want you to think about this position. What would you play here? I won't give you the answer, not on this video, but yes, on the comments. Second position. This has been played by Alexander Alekhine against Bogoljubov. Okay. The second position is this one. And this position has been played by David Navarre, the Brancas, the white, sorry, I was talking in Portuguese, sorry. And on black was playing Ivan Sokolov. I talk Portuguese, oh my God. And finally, the third position, and don't forget, I want you to solve this all. It doesn't exist wrong answers, okay? So the third position is this one. Pascal Charbonneau against Vishwanathan Anand. Now, Charbonneau has won with white. So these three exercises will make you stronger. So just to finish, what have we been talking about? We saw that the initiative, it's the ability to create threats, problems to our opponents. And when we create problems, they cannot organize, they cannot take proactive decisions. So they will defend, they will be preoccupied. Then we saw that we can have the initiative at the opening, middle game, and end game. So in the opening, if you don't want to have problems, you want to develop all your pieces. You want to protect your king. You don't want to lose temples. You want to develop your knights before bishops. On the middle game, you want to be careful with your king security again. You need to be careful with the pawn structure. You need to be careful with the activity of your pieces and create problems to your opponents and try to improve your position while you create the problems to your opponents. And finally, in the end game, it's more technical, but it's possible too to have initiative. So you will do that using some endgame techniques. So creating passed pawns, exploiting pawn weaknesses, improving the position of the king, and simplifying the position through piece exchanges. So this is very important. And if you do that on your own games, you will be able to be a strong player. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry for the time, but I think you understood the concepts. Tomorrow we will be back. Just before finishing today, with the community of chess, the chess community, lost one of the biggest figures. It's Jeremy Silman. Jeremy Silman was one of the greatest authors of chess books. So he has written how to reassess your chess. And probably tomorrow we will do a tribute here on the channel talking about Jeremy Silman and analyzing some of his ideas. So till tomorrow, bye bye.